going, everybody? Welcome back to Rabbit Transit Garage. Well, we got the CUDA back up in the air, and I'm replacing the pitman arm and the idler arm since it has the center link has been making contact with the oil pan. So I picked up a McQueen Norris pitman arm from Rock Auto. These were on a closeout, so it was like 11 bucks. And I picked up a idler arm. I picked those up from Anderson Restoration Parts, and comparably, I called our local parts store, and they wanted like 350 bucks. Elsewhere, it was probably around 100, 150. I actually ended up finding this one for 50 bucks, I believe, plus shipping, and I had it in a week. So we'll check the quality. They're greasable, so that's a plus. Both of them are. So the factory originals were not. So we'll see what kind of quality we got. So we'll get to replacing some parts. See you in a bit. Well, we got the old idler arm out, and it's always a gem getting to the castle nut at the top of this bracket here. But got it out. What I always do, I never have good luck getting the cotter pins out after they've been bent over and distorted. So I just cut it at the hoop and with a side cutter, and I just pull each part of the cotter pin out individually. Also, if you do not have a ball joint separator, I used to call this a tuning fork when I was a kid, but if you don't have one of these are a lifesaver. When I was younger and cheap, I used to just try to wrap at the top of it for a couple, 3 hours and try to do it that way. But as of course you grow older, get a little wiser. So those are a godsend, of course, and they're cheap. So we'll get the new one popped in and go from there. So after fighting from underneath the car to get the upper castle nut on, actually ended up going through with a long extension to get onto the top so we can actually get the cotter pin in. So you can get it from the engine compartment, because doing it underneath the car sucks. Well, I'm back. The idle arm is replaced, and the center link is still contacting the oil pan. So whoever put this car together, they've actually left the castle nut right here, or not right there, but on top. They left the castle nut loose. My assumption is they noticed that, hey, the center link is contacting the oil pan, and we're gonna make it not so bad, and leave the idler arm loose to maybe not make it so bad. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what people do. I haven't replaced the pitman arm yet, because until I figure out why that's happening, I'm just gonna hang out. But everything is checking out so far. The mounts are correct. Supposedly when they put this together, they put it together with Schumacher mounts. And I can't confirm that, of course, but supposedly that was done. Everything appears to be correct, other than the driver's side mount was left loose. My assumption is because the exhaust manifold was hitting on the steering column. And, sorry about the loud noise. Other than the broken lug on the block, everything is matching up. The trans mount is correct. Trans mount's bolted in. So I'm not sure, other than beating the living daylights out of the oil pan, there's nothing else I can really replace. And small block is looking really good right now, because I tell you, the 360 Magnum probably would be as fast as this big block, or actually faster than this big block in its current state anyway. And whole less hassle, other than putting a small block in, of course, but that's not a big deal. So I'm not sure what I should do. Should I put the small block in? Or should I stay with the big block? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Or should I beat the living daylights out of the pan? Now, I need a new pan anyway, and this does have the correct notched C-body pan in it that people commonly use for big block swaps. So I'm not sure. So we're going to dig in, and I'm going to see if I can find anything that is obvious as to why this thing is not fitting the way it should. And so I have this Magnum 360 that was relatively low mile and had a little bit of a cam issue, pitting, things like that. But it's a 360 Magnum. Or we have this 360 Magnum that is in better shape than the one I got. This is one that Jason picked up. He doesn't have any plans for it. So should I get it from him? Just throw that in the car? With a 4-barrel intake and set of headers, and honestly, it'll probably be faster than the 400 anyway. I don't know. Or should I dink around with 400? I'd like to, because I'd like to know what the problem is. Because that's kind of how I am. But is it worth it in the end? I don't know. So let's see where this goes. So 318 will run. Mention I should name the Barracuda Sushi. At this point in time, that may be accurate because it really stinks. So, like, share, subscribe, and hang around for the next.